They say there are elements to life that gives us unsurmountable joy. Some say it's the birth of life, that one cat video on the dating website, or when all the kernels in a popcorn bucket are popped. For me, I gotta say... it's when the kernels are popped. It's when the kernels are popped. Garden Warfare is what happens when you get a classic tower defense game and then smash another HD axes in there. Axes? Axis. Plants vs. Zombies is iconic. What, you thought flying Italians, bubblegum, or an assault victim is iconic? This game is steeped into people's minds. You can play it at fucking Olive Garden. Olive Garden, may I take your order? Fuck is your dumbass Olive ass store supporting Flower XP shooter? Have you seen the internet? And by right now standards, it turns 13. This isn't Minecraft levels of old. It's Bayonetta old. Like, it can be sexualized on an anime with minor consequences old. But taking that potential greatness of video games was... shit. Alright, now I've gotten too desperate. Really, Bayonetta? You're just gonna make a whole video on EA? The Nutella tier of companies? Just generally? But wait a minute, this game is good? No! This video is merely giving praise to the various developers and artists that made the game possible, a separate entity from the company because most likely, according to some recent Twitter posts, they've all moved on to other projects, other games, whatever. What a peculiar idea for a game, taking the various plans seen from the titular mobile game and converting them into full arsenals with the finest cake, goddamn! Damn, boy, he's sick! I think some of the most interesting parts about this game is the fact that it gives a big family-friendly FU to most shooter archetypes whilst outdoing them by tenfold. Like what I did to my integrity when I made this YouTube channel. What I mean is that this game, for one, has some of the most distinguishable identity from a lot of other shooters. Yeah, it's probably for the fact that it's P-frickin-Z, but also, like, look at every COD game. If you can name them all, here, have this treatment. It's called life. It's called childhood. This game knows its style and absolutely rocks it. I don't know how to explain this, but it's like if you gave the most realistic lighting and texturing to a Saturday night cartoon. You could see the inside of xylems and phloems on the leaves, but oh sap, it's on a sex toy. The grimified cartoon world feels a little too real for what are meant to be silly characters, hence making the contrast that gives it attitude. It makes it stand out amongst the crowd of haha gun goes burr shooters. Instead of your guns, ammos, and magazines, you have pea shooters, sunbeams, and needles. And honestly, I like having more creative characters and projectiles. Screw people, I want autotrophs. By using more unconventional designs, it means that the game's going out of their way to not be lazy and actually try giving a memorable personality for each class. There's attention to detail for all these characters. Small idle animations like how the chomper yawns. Aww. Or how the sunflower reloads by looking into the sun. Yeah, screw you, CSGO. Try solar power for a change. Many of these plants get voices for the first time. And their silhouettes are just the most distinguishable compared to any other shooter, period. And may I just talk about the world? It's filled to the brim with zombie or plant iconography in a way that makes either the zombie or plant assault more authentic. A lot of them look photorealistic, but they fail to match that standard because how the heck is this not violating like 1,000 OSHA guidelines? And something about that is super charming. That's why even if the single player feels a little monotonous, I still like playing it because I want to see more of this world. This is where the gameplay figuratively and literally kicks in, because if it's one thing this game does, it's the replayability factor using the alternates and the abilities. The abilities, for one, are 3 unique skills assigned to each class type. They usually consist of things that A, speak/reference something about the character. One example would be the Gatling P referencing the plant with the same name, or Shookshot referencing the Cobb Cannon. Pretty high quality abilities because they bring new gameplay whilst perfectly referencing the character and the source material simultaneously. Or B, make reference to other plants, like the EM Peach, walnuts, or the spikeweed. Little cameos here and there just crammed in as fun little additions whilst being pretty useful. Or C, we ran out of in-universe ideas, now taste the rainbow, motherfucker! Yeah, as much as this is based off a different game, there's a lot of new stuff here. Sometimes it feels like these people played PvZ once and then had some coincidences with the PvZ 2 devs and played it off like it was intentional. What do I mean? Well... seriously though, some of these are really funny to watch. You gave Garlic flight, but now... Oh my god, guys, it's Monty Mole. Anyways, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, so each character has 3 unique abilities, but each ability has different types. For example, Corn has 2 types of butter projectiles. For his first ability, you can either choose bigger, better butter, or you can be a dumbass. Next, the alternates. What's an alternate? You like Citron? What if it was part of the Blue Man group? You like Sunflower? What if she was hot? Not is it that hot. Ew, PVC, please no Gijinka phase. Take a core character and spin it around into a different variant that has a new primary weapon, slightly different stats, and sometimes even a passive effect. If you don't get that, basically it's like a primary weapon select menu with so many asterisks, it starts looking like the terms and conditions of a mobile game. Can I just say, this is how you make good alts. These alternates aren't just stats changes. These alts give you completely new designs and reinterpretations of all these plants. Remember, this system is entirely separate from the ability system, so you can customize every aspect of a character class to your heart's content. For example, I like Chompers, but I like Chomp Thing the most because he heals super fast and he has a really reliable DPS. I use Super Sticky Goo because you gotta make sure they stay still, Regular Burrow because eating is my main form of attack, and Spiky Spikeweed because it's a really cool reference to Tangle Cup. Also, this game doesn't allow me to use the Cheetos skin, so 0 out of 10. Now to be fair, this isn't entirely an EA idea, those chumps would never think of anything as good as this. It was probably due to the 84 pea shooter variants that exist in the entire franchise as of right now. This includes the likes of the Bee Shooter, Asparagus, Cosmic Pea, Goo Pea Shooter, Monkey King Pea Shooter.
Go back, I want to be monkey!
Peanut. That isn't even a pun, it's just a f***ing peanut. Bewitched Cannon, Snap Pea, P-Bob Square Shooter. Yo bro, that P-Bob Square Shooter took 40 Benadryls. Thus, they would take inspirations from these designs, and then they would make more new and not carried over variants because we really needed more frickin' cactuses. I'll just go over the entirety of one class's abilities and alternates just to tell you the range. The Sunflower is a basic rapid-fire unit that shoots concentrated sunbeams to remind you that we screwed up as a society and goddammit global warming is approaching fast. It's a healing class evident from the Heal Beam and the Heal Flower, however also has the Sunbeam for offensive power. When it's feeling feisty you can switch to the Solar Flare Beam and the Dark Flower, clearly the true evil of this game. Fire Flower is a fiery flower that tries to make a sequel to the Sunflower in the same way the reboot Independence Day... That's right, Resurgence tried to be the sequel of literally one of the best films ever made. Much like the film, they start to commit arson using themselves as fuel. The Shadow Flower has become dark and brooded after seeing every possible position a flower and pea shooter can be placed on top of each other and decided that, yep, hope has long left us. Mystic Flower is the best flower because she's a charged character, but I think you know where I'm going with this, so I'm not gonna go there. The Sun Pharaoh shoots 3-shot bursts because apparently they have to make a 3-shot burst character in an FPS or a TPS like ever made. The power, flowers, glamour, shower, allow it to overpower, or zombie marauders with the pain child. I feel about electro superpowers, she'll scour the tower and pooches in power. Well, prepare to cower as you lower to tramp dirt and tower and scream louder and get devoured with that man power. Try to win in a sour, customers and you 500 kilometers per hour. Damn it, I ran out of words that rhyme with flower. Alright guys, can you move on? This is taking me an hour. It's really embarrassing. Metal Petal is a Republican. Alien Flower shoots mist that lingers after it hits a surface. Wait a minute, hold up. Alien Flower is actually freaky in a way that hasn't hit me since the time I had the audacity to say that Splatoon 3 would be better with Luigi in it. Look at its wild design. The I'm not like the other Sunflower energy in this is real, and you know what? Some of that is not bad from time to time. Vampire Flower has life steal from Pokemon, making her a viable candidate for any of the Twilight movies. Imagine if this was making out with Robert Pattinson. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Give me that extended cut, I'm sure he's not doing anything important this year. Also, I'd like to point out how this character is a vampire that produces sun, so yeah, this bitch just doing it for the looks, ain't it? Stuffy flowers are a great example of something that's all huggable and neat until you realize that, whoa, it's trying to ruthlessly kill you in order to feast upon your flesh. Wait, what, really? Why do you think I'm not standing there? In truth, these are great designs, amazing all across the board, except for Sunpharaoh. I hate basic Egyptian recolors. Although they're always welcome additions, one part of me can't help but wonder if we could just cut some work out by using pre-existing sunflower designs from other games. Primal Sunflower instead of Metal Panel, anyone? A three-headed sunflower in replacement of that god-awful Sunpharaoh? Moonflower instead of Shadowflower? Come on, that'd been easy. The flower is literally from the Shadow family. Perhaps this is why I don't really gravitate all too much to the Zombos. A lot of them feel pretty samey. No, really, because none of these guys establish a really solid silhouette and characteristic. It's always hard to be attached to any single one of these guys. Oh guys, I'm sorry, my bad for overlooking the paleontologist in place for the archaeologist. Where's the more wackier fellows? The Gargantuars. He's a boss. The Yeti. He's also a boss. Even that fat guy from r/animemes. Really, what I think I mean is, can we stop using guns for like every projectile for the zombies? I don't care what you need to do, just stop using guns. What about a bow and arrow? Slingshots? Blowguns? Magic? Heck, from the fact that these guys have the gall to eat even half of the plants in these games, I wouldn't mind a zombie mimicking Chomper's man-eating moveset. Also, what's this game's obsession with purple? I understand that the zombies had a lot of that purplish mist identity all the way back from PvZ 1, but Jesus Christ, this is just too much, man. Between this and the plants, why is the color scheme of this game Barney the dinosaur? It should have been more like, I don't know, freaking Teletubbies. This is a good time to go over the main selling feature of the game.
A backyard beach, a backyard beach. Nothing's ever rich, we got the backyard beach.
The Backyard Battlegrounds. Truly a place where boys go to become Gargantuars. This is awesome. No other way to put it. It's just a Mario Odyssey level PvZ-ified into this amalgamation of dumb garbage, weird Easter eggs, and oh my god, is that a sunflower lighthouse? This has to be one of the coolest things there is to come out of this franchise. Well, other than Weenie Beanie. But seriously, few games make a sprawling world just to characterize how this world feels like to live in. Yeah, it's used for more stuff, but exploring this location, talking to all the characters, gleaming at the nice view using the parrot or garlic. It's the place where I can finally associate an abstract mood with this franchise, a feeling I can gauge whenever I see any kind of PvZ-related icon. This is the brand of this franchise. I don't think I want to spoil anything in this world. Nothing is going to immediately pull you in like some kind of dramatic twist or event. Rather, it's a gradual attachment you learn as you airstrike corn-based ammunitions and teleport into outer space. The amount of charm, adventure, funk, and the aforementioned cross between photorealism and cartoony shenanigans here is almost scary, both figuratively as a compliment and literally as just like a mood. I feel scared, oh my god. And finally, the modes. Like classic PvZ, Garden Ops is your basic PvE mode that consists of you planting a garden and then fending it off from the grimiest grimes of humanity. Oh look! It's our heroes bravely fighting in waves of righteous vengeance over our next wave of ugly human babies, including a Karen who pepper sprayed a GameStop employee, a Discord mod. Oh, it seems like the Rose has finally turned one of the Discord mods into a goat. Finally, the life form can touch grass for once. But enough with the single player. What about multiplayer? The headline multiplayer mode here is obviously Gardens and Graveyards. Basically, it's 6 rounds of a one-sided King of the Hill mashed into one match, in which all the matches are played in one big, long map. One side takes defense and the other offense. Then, chaos ensues as one by one the offense tries to take over each capture point. Offense can win after taking 5 bases and winning a final minigame round, and defense can win if they either defend until the time runs out, or also win the final minigame round. After being used to this game for so long, it's baffling to hear that back in Garden Warfare 1, it was a time where we only had a one-sided version in which the plants always plays defense and the zombies always plays offense. I mean, yeah, it's faithful, but man, is Garden Warfare 2 so much more flexible. Garden Ops now have Graveyard Ops, and Gardens and Graveyards also come with Herbal Assault. With a game like Plants vs. Zombies, why so serious? Because of Turf Takeover's format, as each round progresses, the offense gets deeper into the defense territory's base, and so we just get an entire mini-world with a small story to ensue. For example, take Zombopolis. We start in the border, splitting the gardens and the graveyards. The plants play offensive and attack from under the sewers and travels into the zombie suburbs. After they waltz into the zombie parks, notice the small houses, they pass the river and start walking into the cities, where a big town hall-like building greets them. The plants then bombard the graveyard with their carpet bombing experience, and then enter deeper into the cityscape. After they pass the town hall, past the city, they come to the entrance of a factory. Next up, you enter a back storage muddy area, containing multiple comedically stacked ship containers. What are these ship containers used for? Well, as we pass the storage facility, we then get to see a gigantic Zombot robot thing from the end of PVZ-1 preparing for launch. This is the 6th area, so a minigame ensues. The plants need to break this shield generator at the deepest point in the Zombot launch pad in order to break the shields of the Zombot so they can destroy the Zombot itself. After the time ticks to 0, we get to see if the robot is either destroyed or flying to your girl's place because she said her parents aren't home. And this is the case for every map in the game. That's why this mode shines in my opinion. The battlefield is always changing, and the show don't tell story structure is something we don't get to see too often from shooters. Games like Splatoon and Halo sure have background elements and lore to make a story around the match, but never anything to the scale of this. The plants, unlike most shooter games, actually have a unique objective depending on the location, and their purpose is even better highlighted because each map is specifically crafted for the one side to attack the other. It's actually really cool to see this progression because it introduces wacky and interesting themes whilst having some kind of narrative arc in some sense. That's cool, that's great. Now, why? We've went through aesthetics, characters, modes, and a subtotal of 16 minutes to talk about to you a game that is literally just another tiny corner in a sea of third-person shooters. Why'd I do that to you? It just seems like a tall order. Well, it's because I think a game like this matters. I'm a firm believer that the COD series is too successful. What do I mean by too successful? Well, way to pave literally a generation of shooters to all funnel themselves into this really strict and tight formula that forcefully molds both FPS and TPS games into games that try to recreate COD. Not just from a functional gameplay perspective, but from an aesthetic perspective. Games that actually throw unique ideas, fresh new art styles, and just generally try to poke a needle into the pressure balloon that is this industry need to succeed. Whether if that's done through new gameplay ideas, new functionalities, or what in my opinion Garden Warfare 2 does best, a unique aesthetic/theme, they make for so much better gaming experiences than the 93 overhead AAA shooter games being thrown out every year. Maybe all 93 games have unique variations here and there, but damn do I not have the time to play all of them. Like, I see shooters the same way Westerners see RPGs. Too many frickin' games. But when a game manages to stand out from that pile of anime math school, it really manages to strike a chord with people. Call Garden Warfare 2 the Persona 5 of the RPG industry. Alright, maybe not that prestigious, but you know what I mean. This game prioritizes on the really arcadey nature of the shooter genre, whilst really telling you that it's more than that. And there's just a shit ton of stuff to do outside of killing people. There's something so charming about a game that puts all its eggs in a cartoony, wacky basket and just ran with it to the fullest extent. Go play this before the servers die. It's released on Steam, so you don't need to get that weird EA app that the company uses to probably pull a significant portion of your personal information, and plus, it's way better than Neighborville. Miles better. I've tried it. It's an Overwatch clone. Please go play Garden Warfare 2. It's not perfect, there's some EA stench here, but it's relatively untouched, and leagues better and unique than most modern-day shooters. Emphasis on unique. Even if it's not the best game in the world, you'll at least remember it. Recently it was confirmed that there are no people in all of EA and PopCap working on this game.
Hello, I am Steve. I control everything now, bitches. You know that beta guy is annoying as fuck.
But I think it's better that way. If EA kept working on it, they'd probably make like half the unlockables purchasable. God damn it, see you next mission.